Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video for you. Coming at you with another Mathmech deck profile, but this time I'm taking a page out of the builds that were, or actually one build in particular that was in the Duelist Cup Top 100. I'm trying it out, I believe, card for card. This is actually the same list that was in the DC Top 100. So there are a few things going on here that are not actually very typical of Mathmech decks that I think are really, really neat that I wanted to point out here. Before I do that, though, just wanted to remind everyone to check out the links in the description below, particularly if you are interested in seeing this content come out a little bit earlier than usual. You'll definitely want to join the YouTube members program. I am also currently working on more benefits potentially for being a YouTube member, so definitely stay tuned for that as well. I don't have anything concrete I want to share just yet, but I do have some fun ideas in mind. But joining the YouTube program, or joining the YouTube channel as a member rather, not only lets you see videos right when they come out as opposed to the day they're uploaded, or the day they're shared, you get to see them right when they are uploaded. Not only that, you get your name credited at the end of every video, and it's just a fantastic way to support the channel. And it really, really does mean a lot. Thank you to all YouTube members and patrons as well. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get on into this deck profile. So one of the main things that you'll notice right off the bat that you don't typically see in Mathmech decks is Armored Beatron. This is a level 2 Dark Cyberse effects monster with 500 attack and 0 defense. You contribute this card, special summon one Cyberse monster from your deck, except Armored Beatron, but negate its effects. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except Cyberse monsters. I can't believe I didn't know this card really existed. I think I've looked at this potentially for like Sprite Cyberse decks, but when trying that out, I was a little bit dissuaded by the Cyberse lock effect, right? But I never thought about just playing this in Mathmech, because in Mathmech you can just tribute this and grab Firewall Defensor. It doesn't matter that Firewall Defensor is negated while it's on the field, because once you use it as a link material, the effect activates in the graveyard anyway. So Armored Beatron into Firewall Defensor, like, this is just full combo. This is another one card full combo for Mathmech. So for one, if Circular ever does get limited, this is a good potential replacement for more one-card starters in the deck. Granted, it's one that's a lot more vulnerable to stuff like, just hand traps in general, Veiler, Imperm, Ash Blossom, but it does enable you to go into Defensor, which again, even while negated on the field, is still a full one-card combo. It's also nice for small world bridging. You'll notice this build doesn't play Nibiru, which is often a card you use for small world bridging, but not as necessary when Armored Beatron is in the deck. Same, of course, in combination with the Droll and Lockbird. Mostly because that 0 defense is very, very nice. Also level 2 being different level from every other Cyberse monster in the deck is very, very good as well. Yeah, that's one of the big differences here in the main deck. You'll notice that this person wasn't on Gachiri. And you might wonder, well, wait, wasn't everyone playing Gachiri because it's really, really good against Tenpai? And if Tenpai is so prominent in the Duelist Cup, or was, then why wouldn't this person play Gachiri? I actually get it, because I tried Gachiri out for a good portion of the last season, and yes, it does make your Terahertz a lot better in the Tenpai matchup, but summoning this and then like getting that line off is like so win more. It uses up so many of your resources, and like that just lets your Terahertz survive some board breakers, but other board breakers, I guess Droplet it's still unaffected by, right? It's just like, I don't know, going that far out of your way to main deck this, to dump it with Terahertz, to revive it, to do all of that just to make your Terahertz unaffected by board breakers. If you play against Tenpai, if they open those, it's like, it's so many hurdles to jump through. I get it. I understand why this person wasn't on Gachiri. Yeah, I don't think it's that necessary for this to already have a good Tenpai matchup. Looking at the extra deck here is also particularly interesting. This person was on Lake Spider for playing through Nib. As well as they were playing Singularity, which I haven't played in Mathmech in quite some time. I think I actually have a replay where I could have gone into Singularity, but I didn't because I was just used to not going into this card. But one thing you'll notice in particular that's missing is Update Jammer. In that regard, Mathmech Multiplication is also, oh my god, hang on, is also not in this deck. So I saw that at first and I was like, wait, how do you OTK in this deck then? You took out all the OTK tools. Ah, but we actually don't need to play a Garnet in the main deck, or if you want to call Update Jammer a Garnet in the extra deck, we don't really have to play those. We can OTK with what we have already. With G Golem Crystal Heart plus the Terahertz. The idea being that if you go second, you can simply use the G Golem, put the Terahertz underneath it. That'll enable the, and of course dump an Earth monster to make this Earth attribute. That will allow the G Golem Crystal Heart to give Terahertz a second attack and piercing. So that's how you OTK without playing Update Jammer or Multiplication. Once I realized that, I realized you don't have to play those cards at all. For like, oh, it's so freeing. I feel like there's so much more room to explore with now. So yeah, I'm quite eager to continue exploring with a build like this. I think that's genius. To just use G Golem with Terahertz to OTK and to not have to worry about playing all that other stuff. Oh, I think back to when I say back to, this was only a couple of months ago, but trying to play DPH Jindamore with Final Sigma, yeah, no, that was not it. That was not it at all. This is definitely the way to play Mathmech, I think, so. Alright, yeah, I'll go ahead and break this build down card by card, then we're going to go ahead and get into these games with this build here. So, we're on 1 Effect Veiler, 2 Joel Knockbird, 1 Dotscaper, 3 Maxi, 1 Armored Beatron, 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 1 Firewall Guardian, 1 Mathmech Sigma, 1 Mathmech Addition, 1 Mathmech Subtraction, 1 Mathmech Diameter, 3 Mathmech Circular, 3 Firewall Defensor, 2 Parallel Exceed, 2 Synapse Mining, 1 Mathmech Equation. We have 3 Triple Tactics Talent, 3 Small World, 2 Call by the Grave, 1 Cross-Out Designator, 3 Infinite Impermanence, and then 1 Mathmech Superfactorial. That's it for the main deck. For the extra, we're on 1 Cyber Save Worm, 1 Mathmech Loplation, 1 Primathmech Almbertian, 1 Mirror Logic Aggregator, 1 Link Spider, 1 Salmon Grey Almirage, 1 Lingaribo, 1 Link Decoder, 1 Splash Mage, 1 G Golem Crystal Heart, 1 Transcode Talker, 1 Decode Talker Heat Soul, 1 Access Code Talker, 1 Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid, Neo Tempest Terahertz, and then finally 1 Firewall Dragon Singularity. That's going to be it for our list. Let's check out these games. Okay, our first game is going to be against Kashtira. It's an interesting variant, though. They're playing Diabellstar and Diabells. I guess for extra level 7 bodies? It's an interesting choice. Anyway. Alright, we're going to be taking the first turn here. Oh, they have the sous ship with the burger. That's good. I like that. Alright, here I'm going to Small World and find the Circular, because I already have the Armored Beatron in hand. So, I wanted to see if my opponent would try to disrupt me on the Almbertian here, saving the Beatron for a potential normal summon to go into the Firewall Defensor. Otherwise, I will gladly just use my normal summon on Diameter and just proceed to do a regular turn 1 combo. But, if at all possible... Oh wait, I went for Addition? Oh, that's right, because I can just send Diameter later. And then I normal summoned it. That's right, I wanted to try something out here. So going for the Addition, because we can send Diameter later, as mentioned. Basically, the only thing we miss out on by doing it this way is that we don't get to send Aggregator during our opponent's turn, which could potentially matter, but is pretty minor in the grand scheme of things. And I think being able to go into a full combo instead of only Terahertz might be worth the difference. I think this was actually the game where I forgot to make Singularity, now that I think about it. You know what, it definitely was, and the reason I wasn't able to go into Singularity full combo here is because I put Almbertian in the wrong zone. That's why I didn't go for Singularity here. You're supposed to put Singularity in this zone, or I guess it depends where you want the Singularity to end up. I like to play into the extra monster zone on the left, so if that's the case, you want the Almbertian right here. You basically want the Almbertian to end up directly underneath where the Singularity would go. That way you can use Almbertian's effect to tribute, and then special summon a Mathmech monster, and then that will proc the Singularity effect to bring back Transcode Talker, which is what then lets you go into Terahertz as well. But the way that I did it, I have to make terahertz plus heat soul instead, because I screwed up. So, but I wanted to point that out, that I could have and should have ended on singularity plus terahertz rather than terahertz plus heat soul. There's the diameter that got dumped, as mentioned. So yeah, basically by dumping diameter here, I'm giving up on aggregator to make heat soul and get a couple of draws instead, which again, you could debate how good that is. I didn't even end up needing the addition that I searched, which is kind of funny. Yeah, unfortunately we didn't find any hand traps off the heat soul here. But let's go lead with Fenrir. I'm going to go for super factorial now. The reason I'm doing it now is because not only will Fenrir not have a chance to search a card, which I wasn't really worried there about that, but moreover, it won't have a chance to banish a card. I won't have to negate it, because the Laplacian will get rid of it, and that'll be the only monster effect activated while it's on the field. The card they sent from hand was Kashtira Preparations, which tells me this is not Tier Lament, as I initially suspected it might be, but is in fact actually a dedicated Kashtira deck. We're going to special summon Olgar, and let them go for the Big Bang. I don't really care if they find a Big Bang here, that's completely fine. So you'll notice that I use the Laplacian Omni-Negate on the Theosis and not the D-Save Worm in my graveyard. The reason that I did that is because if I use D-Save Worm here, my opponent would simply be able to go to battle phase and battle Ogre over Laplacian, and then I don't have either of those negates. But by using Laplacian's Omni-Negate here, I can hold on to the D-Save Worm and not give up on my negates if they just choose to go to battle phase. Alright, so there goes the Theosis. They get to activate the Ogre effect. I don't really care at all about this. This is completely fine. I think they eat one of the circulars here. That so doesn't matter. That so unbelievably doesn't matter. I was really surprised to see Subversion here, but also very glad that I kept my D-Save Worm and not, you know, didn't use it earlier. And then they go for Diabells, and I was like, whoa, hello Diabells. Let me max C before you go into a rank 7 real quick. Thankfully, we get to save our terahertz from the Diabells effect with the Firewall Defensor there. They are going to make Typhon, which is going to allow them to bounce the terahertz, though. And oh, I thought they were in main phase too. They do still have a battle phase here. Okay, Armored Beatron, I forgot to mention this before, it does also have a bit of a floating effect, which wasn't like the most important thing here, but it does let me keep an extra body on the board, which is nice. Alright, so Typhon can be a little bit of an issue sometimes when you're playing Mathmech because, well, I mean, our terahertz is... Well, no, it's not gone. It's in the extra deck. The thing is, like, terahertz has 3k attack, so you can't activate the effect while, you know, the Typhon is in play. Yeah, so I'm going to have to do it this way. I'm going to use G-Golem to bring back Transcode to battle over the Typhon, and of course then the Diabells, incidentally. And from here, my opponent's in top deck mode, so I think I might just use this Heat Soul to draw a card real quick before linking off into the terahertz once again. Now I have the option to send a Mirror Logic Aggregator if I need to stop my opponent from doing something. Also sending a Defensor from my deck to the graveyard. 1, because it's a dead draw, and 2, to potentially keep my Firewall safe from a destruction effect. And there we go. There's a nice little back and forth Mathmech game there. Even though we pulled off a turn 1 combo and resolved the super factorial, that's not always enough to take your opponent out. It does definitely pay to know what you're doing beyond that. That's the thing I like about Mathmech. It's a really nice turn my brain off. I know the sex lines are pretty easy deck to play, but at the same time, you can still get into situations where knowing what to do, knowing how to play the deck actually does matter quite a bit. So anyway, there's our first game. Let's take a look at the next one here. Okay, so I don't always show my opponent's deck before going into the game, but I wanted to show this rather than just vocally explain it, because I actually think what they're doing is pretty cute here. They're playing Dragon Link, but not only are they playing a Dragoon package, they're actually playing a Dragon Master Magia package with the Ultimate Fusion as well. Looks like they're intending to use the Illusion of Chaos alongside the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon in order to go into the Dragon Master Magia. So that's cute and cool. They also got some fun cards like Borload Exchange Dragon in here. I like decks like this. I like when people decide to have fun with it a little bit. But We're going to be heading into this game here next against this Dragon Link variant. And once again, we're going to be taking the first turn. You know, it's such a shame that the White Forest board has just the regular music behind it, because I think in terms of, like, just coziness and aesthetic, this might be my favorite board. Alright, so as soon as they summon Seyfried, I'm going to immediately throw out Maxi. You'll notice that I had to set 2 and then pass here. You'll also notice that my opponent is moving to battle phase and choosing not to play into my Maxi at all. Which I think this was 100% the correct move on their part. Because I demonstrated to my opponent by setting 2 and then passing that I don't have plays in my hand as is. So when I go Maxi, you want to give me 0 draws, right? Because then you're basically, hopefully, getting me to skip my turn. I think this person played very well into Maxi. Also wanted to pause here and point out the way they set their back rows and the amount of information this can give us. So I know my opponent does not have an imperm face down. And the reason I know that is because they specifically avoided setting their back rows in the same columns that mine are. They did this to play around my imperm, but in doing so, they have also told me that neither of these are imperm, otherwise you would want to play across from another back row to potentially negate it, right? Little things like that you can potentially glean a lot of information. Now, in true Mathmech player fashion, I'm just going to simply peel circular right off the top of my deck, because I'm very, very skilled at this game. But in all fairness, it didn't have to be circular. It could have been Defensor, or it could have been Armored Beatron. It could have been Parallel Exceed would have done it. It could have been like any Mathmech monster, I think, since I have Equation in my hand, honestly. Oh my god, especially if it was addition or subtraction, that would have 100% done it. Because I could have still normal summoned Ash Blossom, linked into Almirage, special summon addition or subtraction. That alone is full combo, and then Equation is like definitely an OTK there. Alright, so we're going to go into the link decoder. Link off with the Splash Mage to make our transcode talker. Link decoder lets itself come back, activating the transcode F on Splash Mage. And now I'm going to link these two specifically into the G-Golem Crystal Heart. Looks really weird, but remember we're going to use the G-Golem, bring back transcode, and then now we're going to link into the Terahertz, and then this is how you OTK. Remember that you need to be able to attack twice. So by making this an Earth attribute, we're not looking to use the Terahertz effect to attack multiple times, because that can only let it attack multiple monsters. G-Golem just says you can make a second attack, and they also inflict piercing. So by making Terahertz Earth here, we secure the game. Now, unfortunately, I sent D-Save for him, because I wasn't thinking, and I was like, oh, they have back rows. I guess they might be scary. I'll send D-Save for him. Except, oops, now my Terahertz is an Earth, and it can't make a second attack. So, ignoring my misplay, I had the OTK set up there. I just overthought it for a second, and overthought my way out of it. I'm not that worried, though, because I have Super Factorial, and Ash Blossom, and Imperm, and D-Save Worm. So, like, we should be good to go here. I'm going to Ash Blossom their Chaos Space, and I think that's enough to get them to concede here. Maybe? No, it's when I Super Factorialed, then they conceded, right. Yeah, that would definitely do it, so... Yeah, I screwed up the OTK there, but I think that was still a sufficient demonstration of how you would OTK going second without Update Jammer or Multiplication. And as you can see, we didn't even need that Mathmech equation that was in our hand. I think we did all of that off of Circular by itself, which is kind of wild that that's feasible, but it is. It wasn't, as you saw, it wasn't even really that difficult to have the extra bodies there, so... That's cool. It's good stuff. Never would have thought of that on my own. Love to see that inspiration from players who are much better than me. Anyway, we have time for one more game, so let's finish off with that one. And our final game is going to be up against a very standard Tenpai list, so... Alright, I know we go first, but did we lose the coin flip? We did lose the coin flip. Okay, so we do know, or have some indication that it's probably going to be Tenpai going into it, right? Now, Hasn't really changed how I would play, you know, as a Mathmech player, but... So opening Sigma plus Firewall Guardian looks kind of weird, but it's actually not bad at all because of exactly what I'm about to do here. Activate Sigma effect to special summon itself, normal summon Firewall Guardian, go into Lingaribo, and special summon itself. Now, normally, when these two go from the field to the graveyard, they would both be banished. But what I can do here is overlay them into Almbertian, which not only lets me go into my plays with Circular, but will also put both Sigma and Firewall Guardian into the graveyard, which is nice. This also, as you're about to see here, plays around Imperm, because we make Lingaribo first, so... Yeah, that's one of those hands that looks bad because it looks weird. Or I guess it's more apt to say, you might think a hand like that is bad because it looks weird. But in fact, a hand like that is completely fine, as we demonstrated. So, I'm going to special summon Circular, use the Almbertian effect to proc the Circular effect with the summon. That way I can search Super Factorial. From there I'm going to link these two into Splash Mage. And now we're going to go into Terahertz. Normally, to make Terahertz on turn 1, you don't need to go into Link Decoder, but because we missed out on a body as a result of the Imperm, even though we got to resolve the search, we did still lose out on the Lingaribo. So we did have to go into Link Decoder for this setup specifically. But normally, if you're going to end on Terahertz and nothing else on your turn 1 for Mathmech, you don't actually need to use Link Decoder. If you do, you'll end up with an awkward extra body that you don't need for anything. Alright, I'll send the D-save, set a couple of cards here. Now I have the potential to send Aggregator on their turn. They're going to lead with Dark Hole. I did not... Oh, wait. I don't have Defensor in the yard. Never mind. I was about to be like, I didn't need to use D-save Worm here. But I have Firewall Guardian, not Defensor in the yard. Guardian does have a graveyard effect, but it's a... really specific battle effect, so... Yeah, so I did have to use D-Save Worm here, unfortunately. Not really ideal. What I should have done, actually, here's what I should have done. Oh, but then I would have been able to chain, yeah. I was about to be like, I should just chain to Super Factorial. That way, if it did have Callback, I could chain D-Save Worm to either. But then, no, I couldn't have chained D-Save Worm to Dark Hole at that point. So I think I did make the right call, yeah. They're going to go for Lightning Storm next, and at this point, they can blow up my Terahertz. I'm relatively okay with that. We're going to Maxi in response to the Genoroku here. Now they're going to use Call By on that, which I'm like, whew, wiping sweat from my brow. That is so fine. That is so 100% fine. Oh my gosh. Alright, so they summon Pydra. They're going to activate the Pydra effect. I'm going to chain Imperm to negate that. And then, once that resolves, then I'm good to use the Super Factorial to take out Pydra as well as the last card in their hand. Oh, I'm actually a little surprised I didn't do that as, like, when I had an open game state. But I guess this works, too. When they summon Shundra, we can simply go into Loplation and get rid of Shundra that way. But I should have done it while I was toggled on while they had a Pydra on field and a card in hand. I could have gotten rid of both of these instead of just the one, but... Ah, well, it's going to get them to concede either way, so... Alright, that is going to go ahead and do it for these games. Thank you so very much for watching. I super duper appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, I say it all the time in the outro, but it really, I can't overstate enough how much it helps the channel if you're watching the videos all the way through to the end. That's huge. It really is huge. And I really do want to thank each and every one of you. But, alas, I won't keep you for any longer. Why don't we just go ahead and move on to our outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Just want to give you a huge thanks for watching all the way to the very end of the video. Believe it or not, that is actually one of the best ways that you can support the channel, is by watching the videos in their entirety. But there are many ways in which you can support the channel if you are so interested. The names that you're seeing on screen here, I gotta give an extra special thanks to, because these are people who have chosen to either become a member on YouTube, which if you're interested in, you can do as well via the join button next to the subscribe button down down there, or have signed up over on Patreon and become members there. Link to that is going to be in the description below. Without the support that is being offered by, again, all the people that you're seeing on screen right here, I would not be able to take the time to dedicate to uploading daily YouTube videos. So thank you so very much. But there are also other ways you can support as well. Again, link to the description below. If you like my deck tracker that you'll see in a lot of my videos, the Untapped Companion, you can download that for free. And if you use my affiliate link down there, then that also goes a long way towards supporting the channel. That's, again, free. So is subscribing here on YouTube. That's also free and a huge way to support. You can also check out Twitch, once again linked in the description below. Following and subscribing over there will not only support as well, but also give you notifications of when I go live if you want to catch some of the live streams. But really, no matter how you choose to support, it all adds up and it all definitely means the world. So thank you, each and every one of you. For now, this is Hexlex. I'm going to be signing out. But more than that, I'm hoping that you have a fantastic day.